I'm not worried about this and really no problems. Drop it, tough it, still ticks on. Well, one thing that we have in common is everyone these days has a smartphone, whether it be Samsung, iPhone, and of course they spend over $1,000 on these super fragile devices. Well, let's go ahead and change the tables here. Alright, so today we'll be looking at the Doogee S61 Pro. This smartphone is IP69K, so literally you can drop it, you can submerge in water up to 30 minutes, and this thing has a crazy large battery life. I believe it's up to 2 days with its 5,100 milliamp hour battery, and you have 48 megapixel camera with night vision IR, has an FM radio, and one of my favorite features besides the quick unlock with fingerprint is the fact I have this customized button. So what I can do is I press that button once and it launches to YouTube. Now if I press it twice, look at that, I got my flashlight, press again to shut it off. Now, last thing is I'm terrible with math, so hold down that button, and I have my favorite assistant. What is 6 plus 6?
6 plus 6 is 12.
Wow, you're so smart. I don't know how I can live without you, Google. Okay, so what else you can do with the smartphone is it runs on Android 12, so you get all the customized or widgets as well. So if you hold down the home page, you can add your own widgets, and there's a customized bar down there. Now, this is a pretty clean Android version. There wasn't a lot of bloatware, I noticed. And another cool feature is you have an FM radio. So if you plug in your headphone jack, yes, this has a 3.5 millimeter headphone port right there. Plug in your standard wired headphones and you can listen to your radio and record from radio as well. Before we get to the unboxing, I want to show you a couple features that this phone has. For starters, unlike a traditional phone like the iPhone where it requires a special tool to remove, I'm going to use my wife's earrings, hopefully she doesn't find out, to pop out that SIM tray. The 61S Pro basically has a flap and you can just take your fingernail to remove the SIM card. This is really handy, especially if you're on the go and you swap out SIM cards a lot, or if you need to add a memory card. It's really handy to just be able to take it out and install what you need. Okay, so let's take a look at the SIM card tray. It has 2 slots for SIM cards and you have additional slot for that memory card. I believe they say up to 512 gigabytes. Okay, so I think this will make a great backup phone. You could get like Mint Mobile data plan for about $30 if you sign up for a 1-year contract. And it's been working pretty well for me. And all you have to do is just pop in the SIM card and just make sure you enable the data. And right away, the phone was able to recognize Mint Mobile, which is through T-Mobile. Now, I had read some reviews that AT&T customers had some issues with it, but I think they addressed it. So any GSM carrier should work. But unfortunately, CDMA carriers like Verizon will not work with this phone. Okay, so unfortunately this does not support 5G, only 4G, but despite that I was able to get pretty good download speeds, around 9 megabytes a second and about 12 up. Now this is fine for browsing YouTube, for surfing the web, and even downloading applications. Now if you want something a little bit faster, I would recommend a different model, but I don't necessarily think 5G is necessary, but that's just up to you. Alright, so let's have a look at the interface and the speed of the smartphone. I'm going to switch between different applications, and you may notice some stuttering when I'm scrolling through the Google Play Store. This is also apparent when I'm web browsing. Not a huge deal, but I just wanted to show the fluid of the smartphone. Now, this uses a MediaTek Helio G35 octa-core processor, and overall, this processor is able to keep up with most new smartphone apps or Android apps. Now you can see how it's able to quickly switch between different applications, and it really doesn't slow down unless I'm web browsing or going to that Google Play Store. Okay, so let's talk about some of the specifications. Now, this guy has a 6-inch Corning Gorilla Glass IPS display, also has a 720 by 1440 resolution. I believe the refresh rate is around 90. It's not the quickest. Some smartphones go up to 240, but for the most part, the display is pretty smooth. Now, you also have NFC, so if you want to use contact pay like Google Pay, that's an option, and also has Bluetooth 5.0. And finally, you have some additional features. For example, you got USB Type 2 charging, so you can quickly charge this phone. You got fingerprint scanning, face unlock, you got OTG, so if you want to hook up a external device, that's possible. And finally, you have wireless charging in the back. I know that's a handful, but check out my link if you want to know more about this phone. Alright, let's go ahead and check out what's included in the box. Now, keep in mind that this phone is GSM based, it's not CDMA, so it does not work with Verizon, and some users report that had some issues with AT&T. Well, right off the bat, I felt the weight of the unit. It feels pretty beefy in the hands. This unit has a 6.1-inch display with a USB Type-C charging port, has a rubber flap to prevent dust and water from getting in. Also, there's an additional flap off to your left there that houses your microSD card slot and your dual SIM card slots. Now, this unit also has a 3.5mm headphone jack, and you got your volume rocker and power button. Plus, you have a fingerprint scanner. Now, let's go ahead and see what else is included with the 61S Pro. Well, it looks like we have a warranty card, and they also include a screen protector. That's kind of nice. Plus, also, you have a SIM card ejector tool, which I don't think you need because it has a SIM card tray. Kind of interesting how they included that. And of course, you got your instruction manual. But if you're an Android user, the interface is pretty familiar, especially if you've been using Android 12. Well, I'm glad they include a USB brick. This is a fast charger, and you do have a little lanyard. So in case you're bike riding or you want to just carry your phone without dropping it, you have that. And finally, you have your USB Type-C charging cable, and it's pretty long, so I'm kind of glad they included that. Now, one thing I wish they had was some headphones, maybe wireless, or just some headphones just to add a nice little bonus. But overall, they include some nice accessories with the 61S Pro. Okay, so let's go and give you my final thoughts. So the S61 Pro is a pretty nice smartphone if you're on a budget, or if you're looking for a smartphone you're not too worried about breaking. And this is a pretty tough smartphone. Due to the IP69K waterproofing, also it's pretty rugged. I was able to drop it multiple times without the fear of breaking the screen. I think this will be a great phone for someone who likes to go outdoors or is in a job which requires a little bit more of a harsh environment. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit quicker or something that's from a name brand, you might want to look elsewhere, but then again, you're going to probably pay 2 or 3 times as much. So thank you so much for watching. You have a great rest of your day. Be safe out there. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Reach me down below, or you can reach me at nate2003@comcast.net. Alright, I'll catch you guys later, and stick around. I got some other great tech products here on this channel. Alright, see you later.